All right, hey folks, looks like we're going live now. Let me check in on my signal to make sure that that sound is good, and then we'll get to work here for about an hour and a half. We're going to do some artwork this morning. Checking in on my signal here, mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Checking in on my signal here, mic check, mic check. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. All right, we're going to let that be like that. I'm going to grab this link here real quick. Let me go through my intro here real quick while we do some quick social media posts. My name is Phil Kearney. What's up? I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online, and I am creating an adventure for the Eberron campaign setting. We're fighting necromancers in the Carnwood of Karnath on the continent of Corvair. And let's see. I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. I've been an Eberron enthusiast since 2004, and creating content on the DMsGuild since 2018. But I have not yet done any kind of official content for Eberron campaign setting. So I am in the process of fixing that. Let's see, pressing some buttons, and then we'll be done for the day with my social media feed. I stream 5 days a week in the morning, Monday through Friday in the morning like this. We do artwork, and we do game design in Monday, Thursday evenings, as well as Tuesday, Friday lunchtimes. We build the books that we end up publishing. Once they get cleared of all the editing, we bring them in, do the page layout, and then we build the books, all the artwork here on stream. Thanks a lot for new subscribers. We really appreciate you guys. Also, here's a bunch of books that I've already created on the DMsGuild. They all have free previews. Be welcome to check them out to see my artwork and my design ideas. And like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. And with that, let's drop this down a bit, get it out of the way, and let's peel this open. Clickety. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, book cover. We made this on episode 40. We're currently on episode 532. So tag along for the ride if you want. There. Okay, so we're working on some spot art today. We're using the 16:9 format. For those that are not yet indoctrinated, here you go. It's actually 17 inches wide and 10 inches tall. I am a PDF guy. I do not print my DMsGuild stuff. So on a 16:9 device, you can see the full spread. It's a 12-point body font. Like, this is a 16-point font. These are all 12-point fonts in here. If you turn your device vertically, one column from border to border, gutter to gutter, is also 16:9. So when it actually publishes, you can look at a full page and then flip through the page that way, or you can look at each column separately that way. And yeah, it fits really nicely on tablets, on a widescreen monitor, or on your phone. And the size of the font makes it really easy to absorb the information. So right now we are working on towards the back end of the book. This is an alternate plot hook where the Council of 12 have hired your characters to basically sneak into a underground facility with necromancers and activate a teleportation circle so that you can so that the 12 can bring in a wetwork team to help clean up the facility. Your job is just to infiltrate and activate. They're going to take care of the rest. So we've picking up from where we left off. We've bound the separate layers, separate elements into their own layers for the illustration space. And true to form, we made the rough map as an asset that it's basically a handout for folks. So here's our map of the underground facility. This is a stairway. Here's the teleportation circle. Here's where the magic ritual is happening. Here's where hostages are being kept and sacrificed to the ritual, and here's an escape path out, and then a bunch of other rooms that aren't as important. So this is the rough map that the characters can find on the body of the escapee who gets killed in the secret passage by undead. And so that's what we have depicted here, the same map here, you can see. And then we have the bag of ground crystals that you can also find with the map. So this is the material component. This is the whole reason they're making the manifest zone, is to be able to harvest these. The soil in the manifest zone is being converted to soil in the plane of Mabar. And Mabar is the plane of undeath and darkness and things that go bump in the night. So famously in Eberron, Mabar crystals can be used for necromancy and darkness rituals and spell casting as an arcane focus. It literally just the entire ground becomes that crystal. You gather up the soil. It's like coffee grounds. You gather it up and then you process it alchemically into a black like chalk, kind of like gunpowder, but it doesn't go boom. It goes undead. So the whole 5-mile manifest zone, the soil, the ground is all becoming this material component that you can just shovel and dump into a bag, and then bam, there you go. I mean, you have to process it with alchemical processes, but the end result is having material components for necromancy spells, which is massive. There's massive profit indications there. So that's the whole scheme, is to get this manifest zone, to artificially create a manifest zone where the Emerald Claw that's performing the operation is able to give themselves access to massive gold value in necromancy. Like the create undead spell requires an onyx worth 150 gold pieces. Well, you can just use 150 gold pieces of this powder instead to sprinkle it on a corpse, and it becomes a wight or a wraith or a ghoul or whatever, a mummy, ghoul, ghast, or mummy. I'm sorry, those are the things that the create undead spell will produce. So you can create ghouls, ghasts, and mummies with this powder. So massive value, huge profit scheme, and they needed the Council of 12, which is like the Council of Doom, right, to fund the operation and give them resources that they needed to get up and running. So the Council of 12 invested in the venture. It seemed like a really great idea. There's a potential profit here and power grab and influence that could be made in Karnath as a result of it. And a couple weeks in, the necromancers went dark. So now the 12 is like, they're dodging our calls. They've closed and locked the door. We need someone to break in and find out what's going on, establish control, and create an opening for us to send our own team in that's going to be a little bit more reliable. So that's an alternate plot hook. There's 6 plot hooks in total that are provided with the adventure as standalones that, of course, you could use as inspiration if you want to integrate this into your own Karnath campaign. But like the gatekeepers, druids that keep an eye on planar activity are pissed off that there's an unscheduled manifest zone that's been created in Karnath that pops up on their diviners' radars, so they can plane shift you to the manifest zone where this is occurring, and you basically jump in blind, not knowing anything about what's actually going on. But the gatekeepers have equipped you with a rune stone that's a gate seal that if you throw it at the nexus, the center point of the manifest zone, it'll expand into a 2-ton block that seals the manifest zone and kills all the magic inside of it. So for you to shut down the manifest zone, it just requires a single attack roll at an open space. It's almost impossible to miss. But you got to find it and get there, and obviously you have to fight undead and necromancers and their minions to be able to get to the point where you can do that. And then of course there's people that are being sacrificed to make the ritual work that creates the manifest zone. And one of the plot hooks is villagers. The default plot hook is that you're deputized to go investigate a missing persons report in a small refugee farming community that's cropped up after the end of the last war. Swords to plowshares. No one's really asking who you are or where you're coming from, but if you're willing to farm and make food and babies in Karnath, you're welcome here. So go ahead and start doing what you do. But then now these little refugee farm communities that crop up, some of them are like, hey, we're having people going missing and it's really weird and it's creepy in the forest. We're scared. It's like the Karnath government's like, it's the Carnwood, dude. It's haunted. It's dangerous to be there. We didn't recommend it, but you made a land grab and we let you do it. We don't have time for your shenanigans. They were insistent, so like, fine. They deputize. They put out a word for deputization. Your characters are deputized. You're given an official badge, giving you authority from the Karnath government to investigate and resolve issues if they need resolving. So you don't get plane shifted to the location. You have to physically, travel there yourself on horseback or on foot or whatever, how you want to do it. But the big benefit that you get from the deputized plot hook is that you literally get a badge that gives you the authority to ask and go ask anyone questions that you want and go anywhere that you want with the authority of we're official law enforcement investigating a missing persons report. And once you realize there actually are missing people and there really is a threat, then you have the authority to end the Emerald Claw terrorists of the plot that they're performing. And one of the benefits that you can get is the necromancy facility can be under your ward, and you can become the sheriff of the Carnwood Forest sheriff. And this is 7th, 8th level adventure, so it's got a good amount of tooth. There's Underdark access to the Kyber underneath the necromancy facility, so it can become a great jumping point for Underdark adventuring, leading to the Mythic Dungeon, and a lot of different fun adventure paths. But there's a bunch of different. There's 6 different plot points in total that give your character different resources and motives and different amounts of information about what's going on, depending on what you use, and you can mix and match them. And if it's part of a live campaign, you can see like what here is most appealing to what would jive best with the team that I have, and how can we lead them into this mess, and where do we go from there? Disable the layer mask. Oh, that's the wrong layer. Let's go to the right layer. There we go. So we blended last session. We were doing we were finalizing the artwork, the line art for this illustration, breaking it down into 3 components: the map, the crystal grounds, and the components pouch. So I'm pretty happy with how the grounds have turned out, and now I can work on the bag a little bit. So we were talking about this last session about blending in the artwork. The line art into the color to make it less comic booky and a little bit more semi-real. So that's what I'm doing now, is blending the color into the line art, erasing the rough edges that are poking out of the line art. Once we clean up the edges, we'll blend the edges into the color, so it becomes. There we go, like that. Once we have the trim cleaned up, let's drop away the map so that we have isolated entity here. That looks good. A little bit of a blemish there. Cool. All right, those are all in, and so let's add the map back in for background, and we're just gonna blend, blend, blend. Blend to win, that's what we're doing right now. So I stream, like I was saying in the intro, I stream Monday through Fridays in the morning doing artwork. So, like I said, I design, illustrate, and publish role-playing games. I'm focused on 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons right now because it is my inspiration for so many ideas. 5e is such a great engine. It's such a great role-playing game engine. But unfortunately, Wizards is like the face of role-playing games in the world. So they are very white bread, very milquetoast, not making big moves, not doing anything avant-garde or experimental. They're just holding down. They're just holding things down, and literally as well as figuratively. There's a lot of innovation that can be done inside of the 5e game engine, but it's all experimental work for niche audiences. Like, not everyone is interested in the domain style of play. So having a more robust Bastion Dominion system inside the 5e game engine, while we've been demonstrating in the evenings how effective it can be, it's not something that Wizards would invest a lot of R&D into developing a similarly flexible system. That's the real advantage that little couture designers like me and other third-party publishers have, is that we have low risk. So everything is reward. It's just time invested and effort, and on the other end of it, we get to make a cool book that people might like. Wizards is banking millions and millions of dollars on a successful venture to increase profit lines for their investors, and that just kind of kills innovation. Right? They want that, which is why like we're getting more. Like everything's about Baldur's Gate, or everything's about Ravenloft, or why they're rehashing old content. Selling us another version of the Dhampir again, even though they just made a Dhampir in Van Richten's guide to Ravenloft. Now that they have 5e24, they're just basically reselling everything that they had done before, because that's the easiest route to profit. It's already developed material, so they don't have to worry about a bunch of R&D. They're just doing system updates and basically letting marketing do the heavy lifting on these books, and it's not helping them. In an environment where everyone is looking for innovation, Wizards is currently just retreading old ground with updates. Like, and to be fair, the color mana system that I created for Magic the Gathering using D&D 5e game engine, I'm also going to be updating that for 5e24 because I have so much new tech to bring into that variant spellcasting system that we've been working on at my home table for the past 7 years. So when I first published those works in 2018, it was like, hey, you can do color magic using 5e. Did you know that? Here's the books that show you how. And then I've continued to use it in my own campaigns for the past 8 years, and now it's at a hey, I've got a lot of additional insights on how to make Magic the Gathering a real core component to how you run your 5e game engines. Here's how, and that's what we're in the process of updating, is diving deeper down that path and developing more tools to integrate Magic the Gathering into your game system. And that is like with a new edition, that's what you want to see. So not to break my own shoulder, patting myself on the back or anything, but I'm really happy to see the 5e24 game engine. I think it really does smooth out a lot of the bumps that 5e14 had. It's just that the WotC isn't pushing the narrative with the mechanics. They're just retreading old ground while everyone is looking for something new. It's bad timing. It's inevitable that they would do things that way, and I understand the corporate perspective of it, but if they're trying to promote a new edition of the game, everyone is looking for new hotness, and 5e24 is basically it's not new hotness. It's just resolving some issues. It's a patch. You know, it's like they're garnishing the 5e24 system when someone's looking for something new, like something sweet. You know, it's just it's bad timing. It's bad flavor. It's a great game, and it's an awesome game engine, and I love the revisions to 5e24. But the market is looking for bold moves, and the 5e24 update is not a bold move. Like 3e converting to 4e, that was a bold move, and unfortunately, a lot of the audience didn't appreciate that move at the time, though, and over time, as ages passed, we realized the wisdom of some of the game mechanics inside the 4E game engine. It was not what we were looking for. Just like now with this this is more like 3 converting to 3.5 as opposed to 3.5 becoming 4E. It's a very small step, but it's stabilizing, and it's stronger footing. But we don't want strong footing. We want to dive off a cliff and feel a rush. That's why people are so enthralled with Dagger Heart and Draw Steel and Cosmere and Dagger, Shadow Dark. There's new. It's new hotness. It's a new take. It's not the same material being rehashed. It's a complete paradigm shift, and that's what people are interested in right now, which is why these other ideas are becoming popular. However, I love the 5e game engine. You can have similar levels of innovation and new hotness inside a game engine you already know, except that Wizards isn't particularly good at being the ones that are leading you there. So as little designers like myself, these little third-party indie publishers that are capable of innovation and couture design, of taking the 5e game engine in directions that it hasn't been taken before. Unfortunately, most of these people are just interested in the new hotness. So we're seeing a lot of the creative minds that could be developing the 5e game engine into more than what it is currently. Instead, are and there's no error in this at all. It might be actually a really good idea to get on the hype train and develop content for the new hotness because it's hot and there's potential sales there. So I get it, and I love playing Shadow Dark. It's a great system. It feels like Beckme. Basically using the 5e is like a stripped down 5e game engine. So it's still basically 5e just from a completely different direction. That's the kind of, I think that's the level of like gear shifting that Mike Merles used to talk about with what he envisioned the 5e game engine could be, where you've got varying degrees of complication or complexity in your game to match the mood or style of table that you're at. Like Shadow Dark is a spiritual successor of 5e in that it simplifies the 5e game engine down to quick, easy, problem-solving style of game where the players are empowered more so than just what's on your stat sheet. And Shadow Dark is really good at representing that. And that is a very low, like a very low resolution version of 5e, which is perfect for people that want to have like a more beer and pretzels casual engagement sort of game that doesn't require a bunch of hard crunch number stuff. 5e, where it sits right now, is somewhere between Shadow Dark and Pathfinder. And the martial power system that we've been building and playtesting on my Discord server for the past year. That's an example of where 5e gets into the same level of depth that that Pathfinder 2 or the new Starfinder 2 has. That same level of character optimization. So you can absolutely shift gears between complexity in the 5e game engine. It's just that's not a direction that Wizards decided to follow, that Merles was leading them towards. It was just easier just to have one set of rules to keep the player base solidified and everyone's using the same rules, so it simplifies design, less R&D, less people needed to produce the game, more profits for the company. That's the problem with publicly trading a creative endeavors, is that creativity, like science and innovation, goes down paths that might not be highly profitable ever, but are necessary for innovation and development to understand the fundamental fabric of the universe, like physics. Physics doesn't necessarily have a direct line to profit. It helps build the foundation for new technology and innovation to be developed that will change the world in time. You just got to let it cook. And 5e isn't being given that opportunity to cook properly, because it's being, in my opinion, mismanaged by a publicly traded company. I don't think innovation should be publicly traded, or R&D and like research and development and innovate and experimentation. Yeah, it's, call me a socialist. That's fine. Excuse me for a second. There's a ruckus. All right, life is good. Mischief managed. Oof, my chair. Hold on. Chair got screwed up. There we go. All right, back at it. So, I think my music stopped. It sure did. I use Epidemic. I'm thinking about switching to, I'm really thinking about switching over to Spotify. But for now, we're using Epidemic. Hey, what's going on, Fox? A bag and a fill. Sorry, I think I had stuff blocking the screen. I don't know how long you've been there, buddy. Yeah, we're just doing another spot illustration here. On a page full of text. The graphic elements doesn't make it very difficult, like the adventure rewards that you get for working with the Council of the 12. You get 1d4 magic items of uncommon rarity. You're 7th and 8th level, that's a decent haul. Investment, you can get 3d4 times 5,000 gold pieces worth of goods and services. New identities. As a one-time service, the character's identities will be permanently altered. Each chooses a new name, ancestry, and background. Only a wish spell can reveal their true identities. And then secrets. Rahid, your handler. Rahid can provide the answer to 1d4 plus 2 questions of any subject as though casting contact other plane, if given 1d4 days for each answer. These questions don't need to be asked as part of the same session. So those are the adventure rewards you get for reactivating the teleportation circle in the dungeon. And Rahid grants 2 rewards. Pick or roll d4 on the table below to determine the reward for restoring the teleportation circle. My frustration with 5e is that they fixed many issues and they balanced everything. I don't hate that. Hey, Francois. Your frustration is that you don't hate the decisions that they made, that you wanted to hate 5e but you can't. Or am I missing a critical element here? Yeah, I like 5e24. I think it's a great engine. They added complexity to the characters, and most characters have more resources, but it honestly it expands the palette of what you can do with your characters, and it honestly makes I think it makes design idea like third-party design innovation a lot easier, because there's more tooth. It's a little bit grittier now than it was, like slightly grittier. Not obnoxiously so. There's just a little bit more each character can do that you can manipulate or swap things out. Like the paladin getting The Find Steed spell at 2nd level, what is it, 7th level, you get your 2nd level spell for free. Like, you get 1 casting per day. That's like a super small point, but you could literally switch that spell out with any other spell that you wanted, keep the same resources that the Paladin basically has, but change that Find Steed into, I don't know, a different spell, any spell, 2nd level, and you kind of change the role of the Paladin, because you're not, now they're defaulting them to a different type of spell. Like, this is a different type of character, like really small, like that's a really small niggly bit, but it's perfect. It's a great example of how you can tweak the character designs in 5e24, because they just have more resources and options available to them that can be manipulated. And I think that's good. That's kind of more in line like with where PF2 is at, but the problem with PF2 is everything's feats. It feels like 4e. And it's just a wall of options that are incremental and feel kind of same. So it has that 3.5 feet bloat feeling, plus homogenization of all classes to work exactly the same, essentially get structured the same way. The options make them different. And the martial power system that we've been developing proves that you can have that sameness across multiple classes, but you need different power systems across the breadth. Like, you need full casters versus half casters that have a different type of game engine. You need the difference between primal, divine, and arcana. The warlock being an odd duck in the equation helps create the grittiness of the system, so it doesn't feel samey. Like the meta magic options that the sorcerer gets makes them not feel samey as a full caster. The our own personal pursuit of making the Scion a spell point default gives us the ability to like dump in points of mana like as a non-meta magic way to influence like the disciplines that you have, your psionic disciplines and your psionic focus. Like I think the new 5e24, again, the 5e24 game engine provides tools, excellent tools for designers like myself to have a ton of resources available to manipulate inside of a character build to present new ideas and innovation. And WotC created the game engine, but they aren't going to innovate with it. That's I don't imagine them really rushing to the like. They're not leading. Here's a good way of. I'll catch up with you in a second. Here's I think the best way to summarize this. WotC is not leading from the front. They are leading from the back. And no one respects a leader that isn't on the front line. No one does. You are a director. You are not a leader at that point. And it's pretty obvious that WotC is taking a back seat to other more innovative designers and are just trying to use the D&D Beyond space to showcase and sell those innovations. So they're farming out, they're outsourcing creativity to other companies that want profit share, that they're currently joint venturing with WotC through D&D Beyond to present their ideas. And that's making people look less and less to WotC as the authority, but instead of just the location. Like, no one looks at Amazon as being an innovator in movies and production, like film production. That most of their shit's pretty mid. It's just where you go to watch stuff. It's where you go to buy stuff. You know, they're not. No one's like the Rings of Power. You might like it, but I think it's dog shit. It's like $1 billion worth of dog shit. They have all the money in the world, and they're completely scared of making a stand and being innovative in a direction that people want to go. So what they need to do, if they want to stay at the center of influence, they need to be leading from the front, and everything that they're doing is pulling them away from being leaders into being directors, and it's gonna bite them in the ass somehow. I'm not sure exactly how much of a hit they're going to take, but they're going to falter. They're essentially eating their own tail right now. Hey, so let me catch up. But I do hate that it's a whole lot of rerolls and mechanics take damage, but that they redo the rolls. I hit enter too fast. Forgot message. A lot of rerolls. Like too much advantage, too much reaction. Get to reroll a d20 test. That's fair. I do like that grappling is a saving throw instead of an attack, but that some characters have options of making forcing a grappling saving throw as part of an attack. I think that's great. The temporary hit point bloat is obnoxious because it's lazy design. It's repetitive. Too many classes have too many options for too many temporary hit points. It is what it is. It's just, it feels bloaty. That speaks to the lack of innovation coming out of WotC. They built the game engine, but now that they published the books and they're creating new subclasses or perhaps reinventing old subclasses in many instances, and they're just defaulting. The common complaint is some sort of reaction, reroll, temporary hit points, and teleport. Like, which of those do you get? You're probably going to get at least one, if not more. If not multiple, you know? And like, that doesn't feel innovative. It doesn't feel like they're really, like they built a great engine and they're afraid to take it out for a drive. Because corporations are risk averse. They just want to establish and then camp it. Innovation risks failure, risks loss of profit, risks loss of authority, risks loss of center of influence. It feels like I am always taking damage back off of monsters for a new damage value to be replaced. It's just... Oh, right, yeah. Or like Great Weapon Master, re-roll your 1s and 2s and get a 3 instead. I feel ya. It's the wrong, for you it feels like the wrong type of fiddly mechanics. I respect that. It's a keen observation. I don't know where your personal experience with that is sitting, but like in our playtesting, our players that are utilizing those mechanics are really good about knowing them, like knowing I have Ebon's champion using a Great Maul with Great Weapon Master, being able to re-roll low dice, is on top of it, is always just self-correcting and self-resolving, not having to tell me as a DM multiple times, oh, I forgot this, oh, I forgot this, oh, let me add this in. And there's a lot of stuff you can add in and you can forget with the martial power system, but I don't know if it's just a coincidence or just quality of people, but they're aware of all the interactions and executing them, and I just get a final result as a DM. I don't get a lot of backtracking at all from my players when I DM. I think but that could also be a skill issue. You know, if you're a new player in D&D, you're going to miss details and you're going to want to try to squeak those little details in because you missed them, but that was supposed to be part of your character's power curve, and you don't want to feel dumb for having forgotten it, and you don't want to feel disappointed for not being allowed to integrate it. So I could see from a DM perspective, if your players are sloppy, how that breaks your rhythm and makes it difficult to run what is already very involved tactical combat. Like that's a legit issue. I'm really just whinging on some of these details over here. Thank you, Timely Timer. I have a 20-minute timer that pops up every 20 minutes. It's to make sure that I'm on time for ending the stream and going to my day job. But more so, it's also there to make sure I don't get trapped up in little whingy details like I was. Because when I start talking about stuff, I could potentially stick in while I'm driving in a point in conversation. Sometimes it's reflected in me whinging on a specific point, like I'm grinding down the pixels while I'm grinding down the conversation. It's a fun synchronicity that is more frustrating than fun for me, but I like that it exists. I like seeing that's a mechanic of Phil's creativity. But yeah, 5e is not an easy game. It's complicated and it's got a lot of moving pieces, and if you aren't proficient with the game system, it's fucking clunky. I've got clunky gamers that aren't good with good mechanical systems at other tables that I play, and it's a drag. Watching them try to figure out like what's a D8 versus a D10 is like, come on, be better. Just be better. But I take my role playing games pretty fucking seriously. Like I as a forever DM, when I have the opportunity to play, one of my endeavors is to create as little drag on the game as possible by my decision making. If I have to pause and consider my options, that's fine. But I look up rules during my off turn. I prep what I'm going to do for when it's going to be my turn next, so I can just crack off what's happening, move on to the next person, so that I don't create any reason to make the game go any slower than it needs to. Because chances are the DM that's running has less experience than I do, and the DM needs support and help to get through the game because they might be getting overwhelmed. So it's like my goal is to create as little friction in the game, to know my shit, to know the next move, to present options to the team or narrative opportunities that help progress the story beats that I see happening. Just acting as though if this was my game, what would I want to do? Well, what if I was DMing this right now? What could I, as a player, actually do that helps move the game forward and make the DM's job easier? And most people don't think that way. Most people wouldn't even think that way because they're playing a game. They're not looking at it from like I can observe the art of dungeon mastering as a player. Like I can see what the dungeon master is doing, the way that they're wording things and the way that they're setting stuff up. A lot of times I can see what's going on. The narrative is giving away the plot, you know? So that makes it really easy for me to try to fold in what am I doing with my character? What's a snazzy little thing that my character might do that on the meta side is helping push the story forward. But a lot of green players don't have that awareness, don't have that experience, wouldn't even understand these ideas because it's like that's not me flexing. That's just talking the craft, you know. We're craftsmen. We're performers. Role playing, the art of role playing is not unlike improvised comedy, where you have sketch routines that you've built out that everyone should be helping each other build towards a really fun, creative experience. And people that are new to the craft that aren't good at improvising, like don't see leads, don't see beats, don't see drop points. They have to be coached. And improvised theater, that requires training. You have to actively train improvisation. Like it's like chess. Chess is such a fun analogy. But I'm going to pause that for a second. Hey, let's see, it feels like I'm always taking damage. This happened, wait, now re-roll, okay, yeah, right. That's just poor, I think that comes down to WotC opening up the opportunity to have that, and then people falling, like I've been saying, it's people being unfamiliar with their character or how the system works or what they can actually do that creates that clumsiness. If it was a sleeker, simpler game, there would be less opportunities for that to happen. So that is a design issue, but it is a skill issue as well. Like if someone's going to commit to playing D&D, you should fucking know how to play the game. If you're going to play chess, you should really know how the horse moves. You know, if you really want to be good at chess, you should understand en passant. Or you should understand like that rooks come out last, so don't push them out there early. There's a lot of nuance that goes into the game, and most people aren't very proficient with role playing. Like there's a lot of new people that came into the hobby through 5e, and they're raw and don't know anything, and are still learning. Like while they're still trying to learn how to the mechanics of the game and how to efficiently run their character, they're also learning don't steal from your players. Like don't sabotage each other. Don't keep secrets from each other. Like all these social dynamics as well. It's nasty. It's difficult. And the more experience you get, the faster you can pick up this person's foreseen errors that aren't necessary. Like, you should know the area of effect for your fucking fireball spell. You should know your DC. You should know how much damage it's going to deal. And if you don't, you should have looked it up already. Because you should already be seeing, hey, dropping a fireball in here is a good idea. Let's prep for that. But a game with lower fidelity would certainly not have as many technical errors like you're talking about, Fox. A lot less technical errors. But suffering through incompetence is one of the hallmarks of being a DM. Let alone if you're a bad DM and you're forcing errors as well. So yeah, I would say 5e is an awesome game if everyone at the table knows what the fuck they're doing. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you should probably play Shadow Dark instead, because it's got the 5e. It uses some of the 5e principles, but it's a much lower workload. Rare pause and reflection moment. What time is it anyway? 7:20. Okay. I should probably be done with this bag here shortly. I've already spent more time on it than it probably needs. But this whole process is far more about the destination, or as about the journey. Like the stream is about the journey. Obviously, the books are the destination. I want them done so people can play with them, and so I can move on to the next project. But I also don't want to rush anything. So it takes time. Takes time to dig through shit. And if I don't honor the process, then I end up losing out on opportunities to make something better. Sometimes moving super slow through a project is an opportunity for you to discover things that you missed, that you would end up wishing you had discovered if you had moved a little bit slower on the initial launch. This can save you time on the back end. This is so much fun. I love doing materials like this. In the process of working the line art into the color is really meditative and calming. Like, I'm not a coloring book enthusiast, but this... Actually, I guess I am. I guess you could say the process of illustration for me is creating the line art for a coloring book and then coloring it myself. So I make my own coloring book and then I color it. I wonder if people that make coloring books, I wonder if they color their own coloring books. But I find the whole process to be just incredibly relaxing. And it doesn't take a lot of effort for me to do. Once the structure's in place and I know what it is, it kind of paints itself. I just get to tag along. That's why I like to talk so much while I stream and when I'm doing artwork like this, because the more I can distract myself from the process of painting, the more I become an audience member instead of the creator. I get to watch it. I get to watch it come into existence just like you do. And that's it's just but it's like it's me that did it. Like, that blows my mind. Like, some of the books I've published is like, how the fuck did I make that? Like, I can't believe, like, the Color Mana idea. I can't believe that got handed to me. I am so fucking proud of that design space. I love that. It's just like, why me? I don't know. It's just me. That's me. The scaling Spelljammer mechanics to be able to make ship combat operate like 5e combat does. It's like that discovering that blew my mind. Like, I can't believe I can fucking do this. I couldn't sleep. Like, wow, this is awesome. It's that's to me, that's just such a huge blessing to be able to find this creative space, to be able to make these things, these tools. The 5e game engine's so good for that. Hey, what's going on, Gabby? Dude, we're doing great. Hey, what's going on, Gabby? Thanks, G. Dude, we're doing great. Thanks, G. There we go. Smooth out the fabric. We're almost done with the bag. You see, we're running out of stuff to whinge on. And then we'll whinge on the map, and then we'll spruce up the crystals, and then we'll be done with this. And we got two more. I think two more illustrations in this section before we move on to the next plot point. So we'll probably be inside the Council of 12 for another week, and then we'll go back and we'll finish the Aether Academy plot hook. I just needed to take a break from Aether Academy after doing all that architecture stuff for the past few weeks. The monster, the creature menagerie appendix is coming along well. That's what I've been working on off screen, is to figure out how to make all the all the monsters fit well. Actually, let me take a quick tangent here and show you guys how that's coming along. So we're figuring out the stat block. It all seems to fit okay. We have enough space to put monster art. So that's turning out really well. I need to reformat this one to match this format here. But virtually every monster in the DMG, there's no difference between mods and saves. It's like this whole column is like completely fucking wasted because there's so few things in the book that have a saving throw modifier that's different from just the base stat modifier. It's ridiculous how clunky their stat block system is. So just cleaned up, just refined it a little bit here. Put the CR and an XP value at the top. AC, initiative, and hit points on the same line, speed, and the stat block, and the skills, and blah, 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 and things flow through. This is a decent format, and it works pretty well. So that's an example page. But inside, there's like, I want to say there's like 20 some odd monsters. So, and we built tokens for all of them. So I'm adding the stat blocks to the appendix for all the creatures that are in the adventure, even though a lot of them are SRD, or you could look them up on D&D Beyond. That doesn't feel right to me. I wanted to have them, since I did the illustration for them. I need to link the illustration to the creature, which means I need to list the creature with the illustration that I did inside the document. I may as well just include the stat block. And that's been a bone of contention for me in the creative endeavor, but I finally found that format that works well. So now that whole section is just flowing smoothly for me. But that's also really boring, so I don't do any of that stuff I don't do any of that design work on camera. I just do that stuff off screen. So I put a few hours in on that section last night, and the monster section, with God's grace, the monster section will be done by Tuesday next week, and that's the last block of page that needed a proper layout. So far so good. It's coming along properly. Still a few, like the black pudding, for instance, of all fucking things. It's got too much detail for me to fit in one column, so I'm now working on the larger descriptions, things that require more than one column. Like, God, that's bulky. How can I create an elegant solution for that? And that's a lot of my design work off screen, is how do I take these ideas that I showed you and make them more elegant so that they look good, and so that they're intuitive to use and don't create any drag on the DM. So that's a work in progress. I love cloth as a fabric. It's so dynamic, and I love how fabric can have different density, like grain. Not grain. That's not the right word. Caliber is not the right word. God, it's a leather. It's a term in leather. What is the word I'm looking for? It's not tooth. It's not grain. It's not caliber. Oh my God, that's completely just crushing my brain. Hold on. Term about thickness. There it is. What is the measurement of thickness in leather? What term refers to thickness in fabric? You guys aren't understanding the word that I'm trying to use. That's not the point. Noir. Hold on, I'll catch up with you in a second. This is really breaking my brain. I'll probably remember it tomorrow. I can't remember it's a term. What's going on? Rereading part of Eberron Rising the Last War. Right on. Your family's expressing interest in noir, so I need to read the Sharn chapter and maybe the 3.5 book about Sharn. Definitely. Eberron, Rising from the Last War. No, it's not thread count. It's like how thick, like how durable. Like there's very thin leather that's very supple, but then you've got like a leather jacket that's thick and it's immobile, and that's a term, and I can't believe I fucking forgot that term. I swear to God, reading books, I haven't read a novel in over a decade. My vision's not very good, and reading large blocks of text now has become more difficult for me. And as a collateral effect, I'm not consuming fiction like I used to, so my vocabulary has been eroding slowly over time. Seriously, if your vocabulary is crap, start reading adult level novels, like not like adult content. I mean, like not like you've got like young adult novels, and then you've got like serious like 12th grade education level writing in a like, you don't need to get to college level writing like law stuff and like doctors and shit, but like 12th grade reading level is complicated enough that it can build your vocabulary. It's not grain, but grain is kind of like it. I'm going to kick myself when I find it. It's always going to be something obvious. It's a term that's used in a different industry for a different type of material, but I'm also blanking on what that is. It's so frustrating to forget a word. So fucking frustrating. Like, I can feel my brain trying to find the route, the neuron path that leads to that vocabulary. It's decayed so much because I haven't used it. Neuroplasticity is a thing, man. Like, you gotta pay attention to that shit. I can literally feel my brain trying to find the path, and those neurons have eroded. It's just, it really has. That, it makes me feel weak. Oh god, I almost had it. It's like tensile strength, but that's not the term. It's not tooth, but that's similar to it. I think it's a term used in metallurgy. Oh, this is absolutely breaking my brain. And I can't let it go. I'm really just, it's just, I need a topic of conversation. This is breaking my brain. I need a topic of conversation. This is breaking my brain. Yeah, it feels pretty good. I like that. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit. It's a little bit too sharp. That looks pretty good. So now we can work on the map. The map is an interesting challenge because it has actual like writing on it that has to be preserved separately from the texture and the lighting of angles. Carve off that corner. Oh god, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's like it's not tooth. Push up the strength of that smudge brush to push the pixels around a little bit easier. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Gauge. It's the word is gauge. Like the higher the higher the gauge, the thicker the material. So like a 12 gauge leather is thicker than 4 gauge leather. So the gauge of the material indicates its flexibility, its pliability. Gauge is gauge is a measurement of pliability. Jesus, that was a difficult one. But we found it, my boys. We found it. There we go. I'm not much of a fashion guy, but there is a ton of terminology in fabric design and fashion. A lot of really technical terms, like darting, for instance, is the practice of putting needles in place where you're going to put buttons or something. It's there's like all these little micro, like little niche terms because there's so many different things that you can do with fabric. They all have like their own language. It's really interesting. God, that was a tough one. I had to pull up images of shopping for a leather couch back in Arizona for me to be able to connect the term. These are probably insignificant details that I'm whinging on, but it makes me feel like the piece is complete. So I have to do it, even if it isn't ultra productive. It's like my theme. Everything takes longer than it's supposed to because I'm really committing to the process. But that, you know, that's what you gotta do. You gotta commit to your process, and then you can critique and improve your process. But if you stay with your process, it's a reliable pattern that you can duplicate. And it can be refined and improved upon to become more efficient over time. Good, good, good. 7:49. Yeah, we got a few minutes left. We'll just poke around. We'll poke around the edge of the map. We're gonna come back tomorrow and probably finish this and then move on to the next piece. I suspect this will be done. I might even whinge on some of these details tonight when I'm taking a break from statting monsters. We got a few more illustrations to do in this section before we move on to and we'll do Aether Academy next. We'll just go through all the plot hooks. The plot hook section of the book, the back of the book, is where most of the actual illustration is at. Throughout the, it's like it'll probably end up being around 115, maybe 120 pages total once we get all the monsters included. But a good like 70 of those pages is just maps and tokens, laying out establishing the maps and all the details of the maps is the bulk of the adventure, of course it is. But that's also like really low hanging fruit of being able to complete pages. Moves very, very quickly compared to actually doing illustrations like this. But it's also just like page production. It's work. It's not art. So I tend to shy away from doing that hard work on camera here because it's less entertaining, and the more work it is, like I refer to it work because it requires concentration and focus without necessarily like being a satisfying task unto itself. It's part of the whole, you know. It's part of the entire process of completing the work that has to get done, but it's not a fun part of it. That makes it work. And I try to avoid work on stream. I prefer to do innovation and creative stuff that can be explored and discussed. But I digress. Folded piece of paper has little ridges on it. Where the page has been crimped, so now it's always got that little crease in it. That's what we're trying to do there. Oops, I don't want to erase. That's wrong. I'll smudge. Yeah, that's not so bad. We need to ground. We need to ground it in the illustration with the shadow, but I'm out of time. It's 7:53 here in Seattle. It's in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and cut stream for now. When we come back tomorrow, we'll finish the shadow underneath the map. And along the bag, and then we'll do the we'll fix this this powder that's spilling out of the opponent's pouch. We'll fix the background floor meeting wall in a secret passage, so we'll need to do a little bit of texture there. But for a little spot illustration, I'm really happy with this. It's just a little thing. It's just a little vignette, a little spot illustration. A lot of fun to do. We've got a lot of these that we're going to be doing here in the back section. Probably another 15 of them. So it's going to take us a number of weeks to finish that. But while we're doing that, we're also doing stuff in the rest of the book off screen on the back end. And I'm just about done with that. So you're going to be seeing more and more often that I start a piece here on screen with you guys, and then I have time in the evening to work on progressing that illustration further, so that when I come back there'll be more stuff done and we'll just move through the pieces more quickly. I expect that for more and more of the artwork moving forward, as I have less and less things that need to be resolved in the actual book itself, and I can step away from that, the more we can just propel, like, to complete the pieces that we start with. So, but that's it for now, guys. I'm going to step out. This is Wednesday, so I'll be back tomorrow morning on Thursday to continue artwork. Tomorrow night, I'm playing Shadow Dark on Wally DM's channel with Fred Wheeler with How to RPG, AJ Pickett, and there's typically one or two other people that tag in with us, but I don't necessarily know who that is yet. But we're going to be playing some more Shadow Dark. I'm looking forward to it. I have a feeling that my character is going to die sometime soon, so I'm getting ready for the emotional fallout of having my Warforged shaman die and having to build a new character. It's inevitable that it's going to happen. I ran 4 adventures without that character dying yet, and I know I'm pushing my luck on it. It's just a matter of time before I get caught, and I have to be ready for that. So, but that's it for now, guys. You can check that. So yeah, we'll be doing that tomorrow night. Thursday night, I'll post it on my social medias. So like and subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. After Shadow Dark, I'll be back online, and we're going to continue working on the Bastion campaign, finishing the revisions to the facilities, which probably means we'll be getting into issuing orders during our Friday lunch stream. So Thursday morning, artwork. Thursday night, Shadow Dark. Later, Bastion campaign. Friday morning, artwork. Friday lunch stream is Bastion orders. And then Saturday, we do playtesting on my Discord channel. And then we'll be back Monday morning to probably be on a new piece. And Monday night, we'll be continuing to work on Bastion orders and getting into events and complications. Yeah, things are moving forward. I can feel the energy of things moving. It feels really, really good. So if you guys think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Check out my stuff down below. They all have free previews. If you want to support my work, you can you can support me through Patreon, or pick up some of these books if you're a 5e enthusiast, and be welcome to drop into my Discord community and playtest stuff with us if you want, or ask questions. Happy to be a resource to folks. So I will see you all on the other side. Thanks a lot for being here. Cheers.